Reset button.
We are back. It is the Reset Button, episode 10. Landmark episode for us, Tan. Welcome back, my friend. Doing it X style, like when Mega Man went X. Like when they throw an X on something, it's always supposed to be so extreme. Are we
Except
extreme
for Jason.
this week, Tanner?
Yeah, I mean, just like Jason X, we're in space.
I hope we're not like
No, I'm just kidding about that. No, but yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, everybody with the X, man, and that's exactly what we are coming in here, being the Oh man, good old DMX.
What if Mega?
That'll be way later. I'm pretty sure that there is a Roman numeral of DMX. We'll have to be doing this for a while to get to that point, but when we do get to it, and if we get popular enough, we'll have DMX on the show for that one, I think.
Will we ever be that popular enough to have the man himself on the show?
Will we ever be doing it that long, too, to have the man himself on the show? You know what? That would be awesome.
How old is DMX? He's got to be in his 50s. There's no way he's younger than 50.
He might be in his late 40s.
The world may never know. Can you imagine DMX narrating a Mega Man movie?
What?
But yeah, it's the Reset Button. We're back for the 10th time. Tannen, like I said, welcome back. Real quick, follow me on Twitter at TheHibikitMD. Check out Tannen as well at OTannensBum. Tannen, it's been another week in gaming. You have beaten Resident Evil 7. I know that's hot off the presses. I know you're dying to talk about it, but real quick, I just want to give two shout-outs real quick. First of all, to Kayfabe Today podcast yesterday. I made an appearance on there. Go over, check out their channel. On first thing in the morning on YouTube. It's good stuff. I went 3 hours, so if my throat hurts a little bit tonight, Tannen, I hope you understand. Those guys definitely, they go hard when it comes to wrestling talk over there. On Kayfabe Today. And also another shout out to Logan Myers for pulling double duty from back-to-back post shows this week on Slam Pigs Podcast. So thank all you guys. Means a lot. And everybody, thanks for the feedback on the Earthworm Jim review, which is just dropped on the Big TV. Check that out. I love that fucking game. I'm pretty sure Tannen does too. But Tannen, besides beating Resident Evil 7, what you been doing and playing this week, my friend?
Man, what have I been playing other than Resident Evil 7? It's been a busy week. I mean, I finished that off with my days off. And then kind of jumped back into, Return to Arkham, which, that game is what it is there. I got excited because you actually told me that Little Big Planet 3 was going to be free this week.
And actually next week. That's my bad.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
To my dire disappointment of what? It was not on there yesterday, and I was, throwing trash out a car window. It made me cry like an Indian.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've mixed up my days. No, this Tuesday, I promise you guys, and everyone has a PSN account, Little Big Planet 3, which I haven't played. I've heard, mixed bag reviews. It's not as good as the prior two, but I'm still excited to check it out for free this month. Most definitely.
Yeah, it's a free game, so whatevs.
Yeah, what do you guys want?
Yeah, really, you want to cater to you. What other game did I play? What is it called? My night job. I played that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've checked that game out. It's pretty fun. You know what it's lacking is co-op. Not really, really happy about the fact that it was not 2-player, because I kind of expected it to be when I watched the trailer for it and everything. I was like, oh man, this looks like it'll be a kick-ass 2-player game. It's not. You can collect your victims. It's kind of like a side-scrolling Zombies Ate My Neighbors in a way, because you have to rescue, victims and things like that. And your victims will follow you, and some of them will fight. They'll help you fight back, which is kind of cool. But at the end of it all, I'd really like a second player there with me for that one. And it does lack that. But it is a very funny game. It did make me laugh.
Cool.
All that good stuff. Just like everything that I kind of like, monsters and the horror and the zombies and just all these different enemies. You can pick up basically anything and use it as a weapon. And it's a side scroller.
Did you
And it's
ever
very well
play?
done side scroller.
Did you ever play? And it's reminding me of this Charlie Murder.
No.
That game was really fun. It's kind of like, but it was more of a beat 'em up. But still, it was like you can use any kind of weapon. It was really in depth, super fun. I had it on Xbox Live Arcade back in the day. It was awesome.
All right on.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been playing mainly a
oh
lot of.
wait.
Oh, sorry, Jake.
I was about to say one more game. Finally started playing Sleeping Dogs.
Yes.
And Karen is also into that. So it's become a really fun game. It's like a Grand Theft Auto with no weapons. I mean, the combat in it is
They
really
sprinkle
good.
in the weapons. They sprinkle
They
them.
sprinkle them in, but mainly you're supposed to be in there to whoop some ass. That is your goal.
Yeah.
To be more of a let's punch somebody and kick somebody. And I mean, the combat system in it's awesome. It reminds me a lot of
Yeah.
Arkham.
Well, I was gonna say it's Arkham Light, basically, is the combat system.
Yeah.
But it's still
Yeah.
good. It's a little bit deceptive as an open world game because honestly, for it is a good game, but it doesn't give you as much to do as a Grand Theft Auto as far as side stuff. But there's a good bit of
Oh
stuff
yeah,
to
not
do.
at all.
I completed the remaster. I'm on the Undead Nightmare DLC, which is it's supposed to be cheesy and it's nothing but good old fashioned fun. Just you don't have to have a lot of thought into it. But yeah, I
Right
mean,
on. Yeah, my one coworker was telling me one of them is like it's basically I can't remember what Bruce Lee movie it would be based off of. Tournament of Death, basically.
yeah, Year of the Snake, the other DLC.
Yeah, but you get on a boat and you get on this island. You have to go through a tournament.
Yeah, I'm really excited
Um,
to play that one. Probably the most out of any of them.
the one he told me about, I was like, that just sounds like an awesome game in itself. Like, I can't wait to play that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot about Sleeping Dogs that I'm looking forward to unlocking and getting further into with.
Well, I know everyone
Um,
has a Resident Evil fever this month with the crappy movie and the phenomenal game. One is really bad, one's really good. So I'm not going to see the movie, and I don't have the game, so I just decided to play the first remaster on PS4, the first Resident Evil this week. It's kind of an homage for Resident Evil month. It is what it is. It's a really good remaster. It's basically the GameCube one, like we've said before. Another game that I played a lot this week, Tan, I don't know what it has always been about this game. I don't know if you've ever played it. Poppin' Twinbee for the Game Boy. Have you ever played that?
Poppin' Twinbee.
Yeah.
No.
It's a shmup. It's a straight up shoot 'em up. The main gimmick to the game. I don't know how much justice I'm going to do explaining it. Like there's bells, literal bells. It's more of a cute 'em up, like it's a cutesy shooter like Gun Knack, where the enemies are like adorable and shit. But anyway, you keep shooting, like you juggle the bells with your blaster, and the more you juggle the bells, you power up your weapon. So it adds a whole other gameplay element. A lot of people hate this game. It's a port of the arcade game. It's ported to SNES. They only got it in Europe and like Japan. Was never stateside. I actually like this shoot 'em up a lot just because of that element. It's something different. It's not just your standard Gradius or fucking Life Force, your standard fare fucking shooter. So I like that game a lot. It's frustrating, but I've almost beaten it, and I've never beaten any of the Pop and Twinbee games. So it's definitely gonna be a notch on my belt. Also, been helping the kids a lot with Skyrim. They really love Skyrim. It's so fun to watch their eyes light up when they learn like a new spell or something. Like when they got the craft a magic sword, you would have thought they won the lottery. That's
Hmm.
any of you listeners that have kids and you experience games with them. It's one of the best things. It really is.
Man, I never thought I'd be telling you this out loud because I knew you're a Skyrim fan. One of my coworkers is a huge Skyrim fan, but he has it for Xbox One, and the mods on that make the game completely different. He got this one that somebody made that was a graphical upgrade, and he says it just completely changes the game. It just makes it look so beautiful, like rain instead of looking like lines coming down, looks like real rain. Just little details like that. It'll actually make the foliage more full and more detailed.
Plus, they have like fucking Thomas the Tank Engine mods and Teletubbies and shit. So
plus, plus, and you would like this, a Randy Savage dragon.
The Randy Savage dragon, of course, classic. I'm always like, and that was the big thing about last year with mods for the PS4, which we got. We did get that for what it is, not anywhere in the depth of a PC mod crowd.
Not anywhere near or the Xbox One. Like, they got basically the full fucking package too. Like, we kind of got screwed on it.
I'm just more hesitant. I'm more hesitant on a PS4 than I would be a PC to use mods because I don't know if it would fuck up my file. Something about modding on a PS4 just doesn't sound like it's going to end well. So I don't really fuck with mod unless, like your friend said, the textures. I did use the texture mod, definitely. You almost have to at this point in 2017 if you want really Skyrim to stand the test of time. Honestly, because there's so many games now. Like we have Ark. I don't know if you ever played Ark for PC, but all games are like Skyrim now. You know what I mean? Basically.
Yeah, even Zelda's going that route.
Yeah. So. Yes, but yeah, it's been our week.
Oh, which by the way, there's a countdown for me now. It's going to be coming.
It's coming.
I cannot wait.
We're 2 weeks away or something.
Yeah, a month and 2 weeks. Yep, you're right. We're looking at about a 6-week span here. Well,
speaking of Nintendo, because I know you have a lot to say, I'm sure, about Resident Evil 7. I just want to get this out of the way because by the time we're recording this is a little bit older news, but we haven't got the chance to mention it real quick because Tannen, we've both been so burnt out on Nintendo the past couple weeks. But the Switch online prices were revealed last week, and not officially the exact amount, but somewhere in the ballpark between like $16 to $30 a year, which is way cheaper, of course, than the other big two, but Nintendo has never made you pay for an online service. Ever, I don't think.
They haven't, but who knows? They might even go the same route with, like, we'll throw in a free game every month. It might be an indie game.
Yeah.
Or it might be one of their classic games. God knows they have enough of a library backed up that they could throw us a free NES game.
I could definitely see like a Captain Toad being a free game for a month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's a good game.
Well, I've even got a hard copy of it coming to me in about a week now. I'm going to be getting a good bit of games. But,
didn't even plan that.
Huh?
I didn't even plan the Toad reference. I didn't know you had the game coming.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Yeah, no, I'll be talking about that probably in about a week or two. But because I got a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles and everything's going to be here. And
see, guys, you can't teach that kind of chemistry. All you guys that do podcasts and stuff. See that, ESP. I just knew he was going to get a Captain Toad and segued into it.
Oh yeah, it's got to be there. It's got to be there. And as far as Captain Toad goes, you had those Captain Toad levels and Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed them, so I'm looking forward to this.
Well, that's what springboarded it. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let's
One
fucking
thing I'm still
do
lacking
it.
in my life.
Go ahead, Tannen. Before I yell, because I'm going to yell again. Go ahead.
One thing I'm still lacking in my life, and I'm going to be lacking for a minute, but I think I should pick it up, is Star Fox. I still should go ahead and get that.
For the
I'm
feeling,
I'm feeling like I should.
I just didn't get it because I knew. I don't want to come off snobby or snarky, but everyone that I've talked to that has played this game didn't really have a lot of good things to say. Rarely.
And you say everyone, but man, the reviews are 50-50. Like, if you don't pick up the
let me rephrase. People that I trust, not fucking IGN or some shit like that. Like people that you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm talking about going through a commentary thing though. On a post, and you see one guy that hates it, one guy that likes it, one chick that loves it, one chick that hates it, I
don't even think it's hate. I don't even think it's ever flat out hate with the Star Fox Wii U game. I think it's more it was lackluster. It was exactly what we didn't want it to be, a gimmicky on rails to capitalize off the Wii U gamepad shit. Everyone was just like, for what it is, it's a rental at best. It's not the Star Fox we deserved or wanted. Basically, is what everyone.
Yeah, there's nobody renting it. It looks really nice.
I'd rather play the other fucking. I'd rather play the other one for Wii U. I was more excited to play Star Fox Card.
If they would have made a reboot of Star Fox 64, made it awesome, like using the Unreal Engine or something, like that one guy did with
Is that
Ocarina of Time,
Yeah.
which I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I sent you
But
the
that
link
looked.
to that. Yeah, that was
Oh
awesome.
yeah, you did.
That was badass.
That was amazing.
Metroid on the Unreal Engine would be awesome too, because it's basically Prime on steroids.
Yeah.
Minds are
Use a new
blown.
Metroid game. I would love a new Metroid game. I loved Prime. Prime was awesome, and the originals were great too.
What
So
did you What did you think of Other M, real quick?
the
The one that nobody really liked.
that was on that was on Wii,
Yeah.
right? I don't like any of them. I like the game ones.
You know what?
You
I
know,
did not like Prime on Wii. Prime 3. I hated it on those controls.
yeah, I'm not a big Wii fan. When it comes to games, like why didn't give us the option? Just use fucking controller. Like if you want to use motion, that's great. I think I probably would have liked Skyward Sword a little better if it would have given me the option to use a GameCube controller.
Skyrim
That would have
Sword.
been great.
That's Breath of the Wild codename Skyrim
Oh yeah,
Sword.
yeah, Skyward Sword. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just motion controls. Like, you don't need to make us use motion controls. Like, why did you make us do that?
thankfully, I
Come
think
on.
Nintendo has kind of learned their lesson, and their games now in 2017, the past couple years, they've given you the option more how you want to play.
Hmm.
For the most part, they're still guilty of doing this
Well,
shit.
yeah, I mean, look at Smash Brothers. They had unlimited options on how you want to play. That was a prime. Why don't you do that with the rest of your games? Come on now.
Don't design it around a gimmick, basically. Um, but speaking of no gimmicks, no gimmicks are needed. Finally, it's time. Tannen, you beat Resident Evil 7. Everyone has just been coming all over this fucking game. It's so good, everyone's been saying for the most part. What did you think, man? It didn't take you too long to do it. I got to say that because I think within like 3 or 4 days you had the game. You texted me like, "I beat
Mhm.
it." I'm like, "Cool." So what did you think overall, as an overall experience, Resident Evil 7?
Well, it's 12 hours of my life, round about there. Probably running up 12 hours. Um, Overall, I loved it. Uh, and I carried it with me to play it with the whole time. Give it an 8.5 if I would have bought it and been like, well, I paid $60 and I beat it. Now I know the whole storyline, but with this whole story DLC and everything coming out, and it's free. That's the main thing about it. Like, wow, Capcom, like, good move. Like, I would say that it's well worth it. I want to play it in VR before I would actually get a higher grade. As I said, the lack of variety of enemies is really my main criticism. Um, I would have liked to have fought a giant spider or a giant snake, or just something else mutated other than just a giant bugs. I feel like they could have gone more with that. But as far as the enemies went, and the boss fights were just fantastic, and even their references. There was even an Evil Dead reference at one point. One of your
Nice.
enemies picks up a dual chainsaw thing, and he's like groovy, and your character's like, no, not groovy at all.
Nice,
And
nice touch.
that made me laugh. It did for a very intense situation, kind of made me chuckle. Uh, um, but yeah, as far as the gore went and everything, and the direction that they're going in with it, as I said, the first three Resident Evils were like this, and then the last three Resident Evils were like that with the third person. I think they're going a good direction with this first person. I hope when there is anything that rolls around, they don't go like they did before and start to screw it up.
Yeah, because all the
Um,
people I've seen that have played the VR version are praising it, honestly.
mhm. Yeah, and I'm sure on VR it's even more immersive. But hell, on my TV it was immersive enough. And
Yeah.
as I said, there were parts of the game I don't think I could play it in VR. I think it would just freak me out way too much. I'd have to switch back to TV just to have that outside world around me.
Right.
Um,
Well, there you have it.
Just for that factor. But yeah, highly recommend it. If you're going to buy it, go ahead. You're not going to be wasting your money. But if you want to wait.
Tannen, can
You
we just go?
know,
Hey, can we just go ahead and say I'm so glad that this turned out being a good game. I'm so glad Capcom did it justice. Because I was
yeah,
worried. I was a little
or
worried.
it just at least headed it in the correct direction. You know, as I said, like some of the people that are hating on it are people that haven't even played it yet. They've just read other people's qualms and stuff, and and people claiming that it's not part of the Resident Evil series,
Too
and I beg to
Texas
differ.
Chainsaw Massacre-ish, like with the family and stuff. Is that complaint?
Yeah, but the other one's always borrowed from horror movies as well. So what do you expect? I think they're going. It went in a good direction with this one. Who knows? The next one might take more place in more of a city landscape, and there's more going on. But as far as this new mutation goes, and I mean, the virus this time is an entity. It's a thing. And it thinks and it feels and it has its own self awareness. Basically, like that was pretty awesome in itself, and I like what they're doing with it, and I definitely
Call
recommend it. It's got to be it's going to be up for running. I'd say later on down the line of one of the game of the years.
yeah.
Will it get game of the year? I don't know because we've got a long year ahead of us here, but it's definitely in the running, and it was a good way to start the year in gaming.
1 month and 2 weeks again, Tannen, till it drops. Speaking of games of the year, I know we're gonna keep
Yeah,
saying that. It's gonna be a running joke by the time it gets here every week. It's gonna be like a counter we should put on the show for Breath of the Wild. Anyway, guys, check out Resident Evil 7. I'm definitely going to sometime eventually. Gonna get off my ass and check it out. Looks fun. Way to go, Capcom. Thumbs up. Is a general consensus I'm getting from everyone in Tannen. So there you have it. Tannen, did you ever play Pillars of Eternity real quick?
no.
No, I didn't either, but I just happened to see this in the news this week. Pillars of Eternity 2, like a GoFundMe or whatever, a Kickstarter, it hit its goal in less than a day, which I thought was really impressive for a game that not a lot of people that I know have played. It's done by Obsidian, who did the game, and they've got to be elated. That's really impressive to hit that in less than a day, and it's still going. Like they didn't shut it down; they're just going to milk it, and why not?
Yeah, people can pay more and they can do more. Why not?
Yeah. Speaking of milking, Tony Hawk was also in the news this week, Tannen. Not he had an interview. He said it's so early in the stages, but he's in talks with a new company for his next video game deal. It's not under Activision, which I never played Pro Skater 5. It's gotten shit reviews from
It
pretty
was
much
terrible.
everyone.
It was terrible. Terrible. Straight up terrible. I rented it from Redbox, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
I returned it promptly the next day.
When did the
It was
Tony Hawk
bad.
series die and fall on its ass, Tannen? Like officially,
After
what
three,
entry? After really,
after
because I
three,
liked 4, and I got to be honest, I liked the Underground, the first one. Didn't think it was
no,
all
I'd say
that.
after three. After three is when they started to lose it.
What did you think of 4 when that came out?
No, it was all right, but it wasn't. I don't know. The first one was amazing in itself. It was a totally new experience. Had a killer soundtrack. I really wasn't even into skating at the time. A lot of our friends were, but I
Just
wasn't. And it was a skate game too. That like I had a copy of Skate, and I liked that game, but it was more of like you were Superman on a skateboard
right.
for those games, and it was just fun. And two was really good, and then three was just like, oh well, it's first cycle of all these other games, and then I really feel like four I wouldn't say it was a bad game, but it was when we started to see taking a turn. And
Decline.
Underground, yeah, Underground, what you had a storyline and a character, and I don't know,
American
I just wasn't feeling
Wasteland,
it.
like American Wasteland was basically sold on no load times. That's all they ever sold that game on. I remember when it came out. That was a decent game, but in my opinion, the best skating game ever released is Skate 3. I mean, hands down. You got to go with Pro Skater 3 though. That game is right up there. Pro Skater 4 kind of felt like Tekken 4 because Tekken 3 was so fucking good. Not to mention Tag Tournament. Then Tekken, it was good, Tekken 4, but not for me. It wasn't anything like Tekken 3 because Tekken 3 was so special to me growing up. I love that game. And just like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, they raised the bar so high with Tekken 3 and Pro Skater 3 that both 4 entries in the series never really had a chance. I mean, they had to just reach, and they tried. They did try. You got to give them credit, both companies. But
But
it's
yeah,
going to be interesting to see if Mr. Hawk will redeem his video game name, Tannen. I don't
not
know
sure
what.
if he does because it completely killed it with me on this last one.
Yeah, I don't know what company it is either. That hasn't been revealed. So you did actually play 5, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I even played it online and that sucked.
Laggy.
Everybody's just not laggy, just everybody's being a jerk, which is expected. But you're just stuck in this small skate park, like usually, or whatever level you're on, and everybody's just being an asshole, and it wasn't working. It was too chaotic.
Yeah.
No, and yeah, as I said, I only played it for one night and then took it back. Like I was like, yep, that's what it is there.
Something that probably looked much
Um,
better on paper than it actually played out to be, the online Tony Hawk.
well, they definitely tried to go back to its roots, which that was commendable. There was a lot of even the first Tony Hawk that I felt from it, but it's like they like let's go back to the roots and then just like rip the roots up and kick those roots around and not do anything with them.
Roots, bloody
That's how I
roots.
felt about it. Yeah,
Tannen, what would
it
you rate the
just
movie Roots?
Roots,
I don't
five
know.
out of five there, man. That's a good movie.
LeVar Burton,
I
all
mean,
day.
yeah, LeVar, fucking yeah, man. He's badass. He,
Speaking of Roots, real quick, the full Double Dragon 4 trailer was released this week. I'm so excited for this, Tannen. And I tried to segue the movie Roots with Double Dragon, and somehow I pulled it off because they went back to their roots with Double Dragon 4. I don't know.
I was kind of being shocked about that. But yeah, wait, did you say it was out? Like, what did you say about
The
it?
the the actual full trailer, and I think I put it up in the Facebook group this week on Hibiki TMD. It was dropped this week for Double Dragon 4.
Oh
Like
yeah,
the whole
yeah, and it
narrated,
looks excellent.
yeah, yeah. They're bringing back the 2-player duel mode where you can fight each other from like the first Double Dragon, which I loved doing as a kid. Like it doesn't hold up, but for a good laugh, it's fun to get in some Double Dragon fighting game style.
Yeah,
um,
why not?
Tanner, what else is going on with the news this week as far as games and stuff?
Um. Oh.
Because that's all I got on my list.
Yeah. I hate it when they make noises. I guess the European Union is attacking a bunch of companies over DLC codes, which is retarded.
Yeah.
I
What's
mean,
up
do
with
you
that?
not have anything better to do with your time? It's some kind of trade bullshit that they're bitching about. And it's just like, I don't know. There should be a mandate of separation of government and gaming at this point,
Yeah.
if that's how it's going to be. And I hope to God our country doesn't follow suit with it. But with our leader being a businessman, God knows how that's going to go down.
Let's not. Let's not even. He's like to me. He's like Voldemort at this point. I just don't speak his name.
Yeah, well, let's hope he stays out of the gaming world. Once he gets himself involved in that, it's on. It is on. Unless he signs a thing that, yeah, there's separation of gaming and government. And I'll be like, oh, cool. Like, what else,
Couple
though, is
trailers
going
this
on?
week.
I mean, a
Mass
couple of
Effect.
trailers. Mass Effect Andromeda dropped.
Yep.
That game looks fucking awesome. Really looking forward to that and what they're going to be doing with it, dude. The Wii U version of Mass Effect 3 is really good. I don't know why, but I like it a lot more than on any platform I've played
Does
it
that
on.
version make use of the gamepad? Like and like you need the gamepad for
Yeah,
certain.
yeah, it does. And it makes it a lot more fluent. The only thing is of course, like if you played the trilogy on PS3, when you lead up to 3, of course, all your choices from the first two games go into that game. This is not the case because they didn't make 1 and 2 for the Wii U.
Right.
So there is this really long, drawn out comic book intro where you just the major choices that you made in those games, you make in that game to kind of get a similarity of what you've been through. So that way, and that made it interesting. Though I was like, oh, but then at the same time, I was like, I don't remember what the fuck I did back then.
That's a
So,
stretch, man. That was quite a gap.
But at the same time, I was like, but this is a really cool comic book kind of choose your adventure thing going on. And then I got into the real game, and I was like, man, I kind of miss the comic book. Like, what's going on here? But yeah, that Andromeda looks like it's going to be really huge, and that will be what it will be. Another
show these
trailer that
trailers.
dropped was Injustice 2
Yes.
unveiled Black Canary.
Black Canary. I didn't actually see this trailer, Tannen, so this is all you on this.
Yeah. Well, first off, I feel like it showed a little bit more gameplay than what I've seen, and the gameplay, like in this, looks really fluent. It made me. I'll pay $60 for it. I loved the first one, so I'll go ahead and I will pick up that game. The only thing that ever disappointed me with the first one was when they did start dropping the DLC, how much each character cost. Like I felt like I was buying a new action figure. I would rather have a new action figure than get the new characters, but it's something I just can't wait for. I
Because
want
it's
to.
something fucking physical, not digital, basically.
Yeah,
Shelf
it'd be
candy.
great if when you bought the DLC character, they mailed you an action figure.
Oh,
Hell, that's a
take my
really good
goddamn
marketing
money
idea.
already. Yeah, basically. I'm really
Hell,
hesitant
I'll
to.
pay $15 for a character if you're gonna mail me a fucking action figure with it.
Dude, I'm hesitant in general with fighting games in this day and age to pay full price. Honestly, if I pay more than $20 for a fighting game, I feel dirty because multiplayer. Let's be honest, in online multiplayer, it falls off so fast. A game will come out a year later, it's extinct. Nobody's on there playing in the lobbies, except for like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, two of the bigger.
I know you can still get on the first Injustice. People are still up on that
Well, I was
shit.
going to say, Injustice, I would say at this point is pretty big, and I don't think people are going to drop off. See, I'm more of a 2D fighter guy, like the obscure Japanese ones, and of course, like your Guilty Gears and shit, they're extinct online because I've yet to play
Oh yeah,
Guilty Gear online.
you cannot find a motherfucker on there.
Any 2D fighter,
Some
Skullgirls is kind of the same way. I played one match.
sometimes I can I can find a match on Skullgirls and feel satisfied.
Yeah.
Even if I get my ass handed to me, I'm like, well, sweet, I found somebody. Like, hey,
that game is crazy. I love that game. The sprites are so beautiful, like they're hand drawn, and I love that game. Great purchase for
physical
$5.
bouncy boobies too in that one.
Oh my,
Like a lot of
Valentine the
bouncy boobs
nurse
in
with
that.
the thermometer.
Yeah,
My lord.
yeah.
Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I feel dirty paying more than like $20 for fighting because they're best played with another person. Let's be honest. And you and I are grown ass men. We have lives. We don't have the time to always get our money's worth with a fighter, and that's what I worry about when an online drops off because I know how busy your work schedule is, so I can just if the online lobby is hot for a fighting game, I know I'll get on any time and I can find a match. So, I know Mortal Kombat is still like that. You know what I mean? Like I get on Mortal Kombat right now and find a match in 2 minutes. Certain games, but
Yeah.
had to uninstall Mortal Kombat to make room for other games because Sony gives you shit for storage. Anyway,
But see, that's a prime example. Though, I don't have Mortal Kombat XL yet. I've never gotten to play as the alien, which is a character that I really would love to
you
play
could
as. Like I've
totally
never
borrow
gotten to
mine
play as the
if you want.
alien.
You can totally borrow my copy because I've
I wonder if
uninstalled it.
I wonder if I install your copy on mine, if
And it
my
would
copy
stay.
would then work with it.
Maybe.
Boy, that would be nice.
Maybe. We'll see.
That would be fantastic.
Some piracy on the podcast this week, Tana. I love it.
It's not piracy. I'm just borrowing
I
your
know.
characters
In their eyes, it's
temporarily.
piracy. And their eyes were some dirty Pirates of Dark Water, which was a great fucking cartoon.
I ain't no scum fuck reseller. Actually, I am. That's what I do for a living. But moving on, though, other announcements. Not Breath of Fire Warriors. What is that game called? You know that other Nintendo game everybody loves, Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest. Yeah.
Are you talking about Fire Emblem, the mobile game that's coming out?
Yeah, there we go. Fire Emblem. Sorry, Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yeah,
has
they
dropped.
delayed Animal Crossing for Fire Emblem, and the Animal Crossing people are pissed. The fans.
Yeah, you have an outcry of Animal Crossing, motherfucker. I
There
like
are.
Animal Crossing. Don't get me wrong,
I do
but
too, but
there are some
people
hard.
are fucking diehard ape
There,
shit over
there are
that game.
hardcore fucking Animal
They
Crossing.
live in
Like
that world.
that's how they live their lives. And dude, they just screamed bloody fucking murder this week. If you go to any of the message boards, I mean, and then there's people that are like all about Fire Emblem though, and they're like, "Man, I'm so excited about this." And you have this like one
Yeah.
fucking,
Well, then
one
Nintendo, and then
Animal
it was even
Crossing
more.
person.
It was more salt in the wound because then it was delayed also because of a Super Mario Run update, and so that had to be even bigger. Like I don't know. I know a lot. Some of the listeners love Animal. I'm not shitting on you guys. I just think I just thought it was humorous a little bit because I'm not.
No, yeah, man.
Maybe if
I
I
mean,
was a diehard Animal Crossing fan, I might not be laughing right now.
yeah, probably neither am I. But no, it's just like, see, I'm not even a diehard Fire Emblem fan, but fucking like seeing this
I love Fire
like
Emblem.
sudden like on message boards, people
They're out for
are
blood.
like,
They're out for
I mean,
fucking blood over some
dude, no,
cuddly little
there's the
goddamn
dude.
fucking characters. It's hilarious.
There is the world of politics out there,
Yeah.
but then there's the world of gaming.
Then there's the
Right
Animal
now,
Crossing fanboys. Don't.
I
Or the
mean,
or the
dude,
Pokemon fanboys.
Animal Crossing activists coming out of the woodwork right now, like,
Tom
oh,
Nook for
cool.
president. Jesus Christ. What?
Yeah, fucking shit, man.
It's funny you brought that up because I saw that article this week and I didn't know if we were going to end up talking about that. And I forgot to put it on my format, so it worked out because that was hilarious to me. But yeah, you know what? I'm not a mobile gamer at all. I haven't downloaded Super Mario Run. I don't know if you have, Tana.
It's not for Android yet, is it?
I think it's out. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote
Not
me on
really.
that.
I stopped keeping an eye. When you say iOS to me, I'm like, oh, it's out for iOS. I'll see you in a year. That's
But
always how I feel about it.
but I may check out Fire Emblem because it's Fire Emblem. I'm gonna be guilty of probably downloading it if it's free. I know it'll be free probably.
Yeah, it's free to play,
Yeah.
so you can
So
you get so far, and then it's gonna make you want to pay for something.
so when it drops, what next? It's soon, I think.
I thought it dropped.
Did it drop?
I
I
think it's
don't even
out.
know because it's an iOS game. Um, I'm actually gonna give it a little review on the show. So maybe if it dropped this week, maybe I'll talk about it next week. I'll check it out, Tana.
But wait, are you on iOS? I thought you were on Android.
I don't fucking know.
Well, do you have an Apple or do you have an Android?
I have an Android, so I'm maybe not gonna be able to play it.
Yep.
Son of
Yeah.
a bitch.
Once again, Apple.
Well, fuck you, Nintendo.
Hey, they've always been about the Apple. And even the GameCube had a Apple processor in it, not an Apple processor, but it was a PowerPC, something or other, blah blah blah, something that ran Apple's was
It
in
wasn't
the
Mario is
GameCube.
missing on an Apple II.
Hey, do you remember one thing I was looking into? This is just to go into something else. So I was looking into the evolution of
You're like, get out of this now. Let's get into
Nintendo.
something else.
Yeah, but the evolution of Nintendo systems. This is just interesting to me. And it only released in Japan. It was only out for 2 years, I think, between 2001 and 2003. And Panasonic stepped in and made this hybrid GameCube that could also play DVDs.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
I did not know about it up until this week. I was like, what the fuck? I kind of want one just to have it. But yeah, I thought it looked really cool, and that's all I have to say about that. I was just like, holy shit! And Panasonic, but Panasonic making a Nintendo system after the whole like 3DO Fallout and everything.
Yeah.
Nintendo was like, yeah, come on in, man. Like,
Come on
yeah,
back.
you made some shitty versions of our games, but yeah, come here, you can suck my teeth. And your system's going to fail again, but we'll let you do this. And yeah, their system completely failed. Like,
You would have to
just
think, and
failed.
you said between 2001 2003. So in like with money in those days, the cost of making those because because Nintendo's always had like this weird. It's always hardest to like fucking break a Nintendo system. We know that because their technology is always weirder. So I can imagine what the cost would have been to make that back in the day. And that's maybe a big reason why they didn't go with it longer. It's just too expensive to fucking
Well,
move
do you
on.
think also this was like Nintendo's like, "Come on, Panasonic, but you'll fuck yourself with this one."
I think
Go fuck yourself.
you know what? I think if that would have taken off too, I think if Nintendo would have went with that worldwide with the DVD GameCube, it still would have lost to the PS2 because of third-party support. And flat out, PS2 had a bigger library, and you could argue better games. Nintendo GameCube, I love the GameCube, and I would say GameCube had better games than PS2, in my opinion. But the PS2 people, it definitely has its fan base. So I still think
Yeah.
PS2 would have won that war. I honestly do, if they would have had the DVD built in or
There were
not.
certain games I liked more on the GameCube. Like I liked Medal of Honor: Rising Sun more on the GameCube than I did on PS2. Way more.
I liked the wrestling games better on PS2 than GameCube, but I liked fighting games better on GameCube than PS2.
But dude, yeah, no, like as far as like the Medal of Honor games go, you could have 4 people versus 2 people. You know, I think wrestling was the same way. You get 4 people up involved easier. You don't have to get that expansion.
I don't know about
Yeah,
you, but my
GameCube.
favorite version of Soul Calibur 2 was GameCube because of Link,
Yeah,
Egg,
oh man, that
and
was
just
awesome.
you know what? I said this all the time back in the GameCube heyday with our friend Gary, who we haven't said sucks in a while, so he still sucks, rest assured. We would always say, even back
Gary,
in the
you
day,
don't suck.
huh?
I said, Gary, you don't suck.
You don't really suck. That's the joke, Tannen. Really. Anyway.
I know, but I'm just letting him know. I love you, Gary. Go ahead, keep talking.
He's not listening. But even back in the day, we make from certain games, the GameCube would look better than the Xbox. It really would. It really would. And I think certain fighting games looked better on GameCube, like Soul Calibur. I thought Wind Waker at certain parts looked better than almost any game on either other two consoles at the time. It was just had more polish to it for some reason on the GameCube.
Resident Evil 4.
Oh my god,
was the best on the GameCube.
Well, you get the extra shit on PS2, but nowhere near as good of an experience as on the GameCube.
No, not at all. Not as smooth. And the load times were so much faster on the GameCube.
Well, you know what's not faster, Tannen, is our game of the week. We come back on the reset button from our buddy Brian Rawson, who was on the show last week. Thanks again, Brian, for being on the show. It was a good time. Check him out, King of Retro. It's Castlevania Adventure for the Game Boy when we come back, Tannen. Are you ready to feel like
molasses? The pain of in molasses? Yeah, man, I love doing the show with you, but god damn it.
Hey, you dirty fucking pigs. Mike here from the Slam Pigs Podcast, reminding you once again to check us out on Twitter, whether it be the Slam Pigs Podcast, whether it be me at Mike the Slam Pig, or whether it be our sister show, The Reset Button. Check us out. Also, you can find us on Facebook at the Slam Pigs Podcast or The Reset Button. And as always, make sure you check us out as a whole on Hibiki TMD. Until we see you next time, oink oink.
And we're back. The Reset Button, episode 10. It's our game of the week time, Tannen. This week, it's a Castlevania entry. Like we said before we went to break, not a good one, though. Thanks, Brian Rawson. Our guest.
Yeah, actually, the worst one ever. Its remake was a lot more awesome.
Well, he didn't give us that one, did he? He gave us this.
No, he didn't. He gave us the original, what I like to call the storyboard for Rebirth.
Yep.
It's
literally like a flip book. It's like Castlevania if it was a flip book.
You got past level 2. I got to the end of level 1 before I said fuck this. Very rare for me because sometimes like when I'm like I'll take the time to get this, acquire it, set it up.
Yeah.
No.
You deleted it, I'm sure, after you played.
No, it's still there. Actually, no, it's still there, but it's definitely like a nice big sore on not necessarily my asshole, but like right to the right of it.
Ew. It's the
rash. So that like when you poop, it doesn't hurt necessarily, but when you go to wipe, it feels like you just poured salt on an open wound.
Yeah, Castlevania The Adventure is the equivalent The disgusting equivalent to when you wipe your butt too much and you get a rash. That's the rash. Because you guys are looking at the clip right now, throwing it up on the channel. The biggest drawback to this game, Tannen, obviously, just looking at it, is the speed of the game. Little backstory, because that's what we do. For those that don't know about the game, this was the first time Castlevania was ever on a handheld system. This was dropped in '89, the infancy of the Game Boy, when a lot of the hardware, honestly, was pretty lackluster. You gotta respect it for what it is for the time period, but other than that, in no way does this hold up.
And I'm sorry, you could argue hardware, but like, let's look at Super Mario Land 2. That game, no. Like,
But that's the
this
problem.
is not a hardware.
Great.
I guess with maybe cartridge hardware.
That is the exact game, actually, that they slowed down, because the biggest problem and complaint on that was the blur at the time. Yes, it had the speed, but that blur was an issue, especially on the OG Game Boy. This was slowed down to make the less of a blur for a handheld experience. I've never really played this on an actual Game Boy. I'm guilty, but I would like to think it's got to be better than the what I played it on. It is so slow, but I've seen footage of people on a Game Boy, and it's just as bad. Honestly, I don't know. I do not recommend it at all.
I mean, would a Super Game Boy count as a Game Boy, or is that too enhanced?
No, I think that would, because that's more legit than an emulator, definitely. That was just a nice little bridge to play your Game Boy games. That's all the Super Game Boy was.
Still sucks ass. Yeah, I give it credit. Even going through like some screenshots of it here, like, yeah, for a Game Boy, there were some backgrounds, which that's cool. Hey, look, there's some woods background.
Oh, there's a background. It's a game.
Yep, there's background. It's a game. But
what was the best part of this game, though, Tannen? The music.
The music was the best part. It had a badass soundtrack, but yeah, once again with very May, like even the same thing we said with Home Alone. Wow, like that sounds like the Home Alone movie, but that was also really trying to drive you insane.
This was all original music, though. I think for Castlevania Legends wasn't. Through Castlevania Legends, the third entry on the Game Boy was more a rehash, shittier 4-bit version of old Castlevania. But the first two were all original.
This was like, it felt like trying to play Castlevania underwater.
Yep.
That's how slow it was.
Yeah.
Like, let's just put our hero underneath water and make it a nice big water level where you can't swim. You're always going to sink back to the bottom. Or the moon. And it's on the moon. But, it's, oh god, it was just so slow.
That, and they totally changed the weapon stuff around. There's no more sub-weapons. It's actually a projectile whip in Castlevania, which they did in the second one, too. For mostly all the Game Boy ones, you had a projectile. You shot a projectile out of your whip. I think the only time we really saw that in the early Castlevania entries, I know in the later ones on the DS and stuff, they would introduce that more. I thought it was lame, and also in this, hearts as currency in the game have always been to refill your sub-weapon, and here it actually fills your life, and there's like coins for points, so who gives a fuck? Points in Castlevania games have always been kind of meaningless, unless you're in for bragging rights, but it's not Nintendo Power Days anymore. You don't got to take a Polaroid to send in, to prove or whatever. This game sucks. This game is definitely, you don't have to play it. There's no reason to play it unless you're people like us who are super nerds and people request that you do it, and you have to.
If you have an original Game Boy, it's in your library, you're on a road trip, and you just want to torture yourself while you're on that road trip and sit in the back seat and cuss a lot.
Yeah. If you just can't help yourself and you gotta, well, we warned you,
Yep.
Not a broken game. It's not broken, Tannen. I know, like I said, I beat the first two levels. It literally took me like almost 40 minutes because of the pace of the game. It took forever.
But it did set the foundation for this Castlevania Adventure Rebirth, which is a beautiful, fucking awesome game. Which, holy shit, oh my god, wow! But like, one thing that you could do here, Travis, is show them an example of what the Game Boy version's like, and then let's just show them the actual finished product.
Yeah, let's throw it up right now. There it is. Definitely, you see the what you would rather play.
But I think, at the end of the day, somebody loved this game enough that they were like, you know what? We're going to make a good fucking version of this game. And I'm sure, I had friends growing up that didn't have a Nintendo console because their parents were like, you can't hook up to the TV. You can't stare at the TV, but we'll give you a Game Boy just to have the handheld. And so I'm sure to those friends that, like, that was their Castlevania experience. Getting to go back then to have this would be a giant breath of fresh, oh my god, this is awesome. As far as this game goes, though, I will never touch it again. Just we're good on the Castlevania Adventure, unless it's the Wii version,
or unless it's the second one on the
Thank
Game Boy,
you
which is the good one.
For the recommendation here.
Brian Rawson
torture
was our guest last week. Once again, requested it. Once again, follow him on Twitter at 8ByteBrian. Tannen, we have another request this week in the YouTube comments from, looking it up, loading.
Drum roll, please.
Little lag. Trixie has requested. Thank you, Trixie. I don't think she's ever posted anything. So welcome.
Yeah, I don't think she has either. So awesome.
Thank you for
listening.
listening.
What she got for us? Or what's he got for us? Is Trixie a guy or a girl?
I don't know. Is it like Birdo? It's not really. There's no.
Well, I'm gonna call this person Rabbit from right now. What's the little rabbit have to say?
I loved this game growing up. Bucky O'Hare for the NES, Tannen.
Oh yeah, that was a stable rental for a long time for me. Never actually owned it. You know what? I might have a hard copy of it.
I went to our local Books and Things videos every weekend to pick out a game. In a good bit of time, it would be either Darkwing Duck or this game, were like my go-to games to rent. But yeah, this is definitely a game. I'm not gonna talk about too much. We'll save it for next week. But I'll just say I was a lot better at it as a kid than I am as an adult because it's
a difficult game.
Shout out to my good buddy Eric Amard, who I was on his podcast last night. He actually did a Let's Play of Bucky O'Hare, and he got so frustrated. It was hilarious. So check that out if you get a chance, guys. It is a good game, so thank you, Trixie. Finally, a better game than last week. No offense.
I would say. Especially from a viewer. This is great.
10 times, Tannen. We've done it 10 times. You know what? Say what you will. In all honesty, this show literally was birthed over one phone call. The name, everything about it, and like came up the logo in one night, and it pretty much like shot from our ass. So it's cool.
I'd say 10 minutes. Yeah. The name came up.
It's cool. We've done 10 episodes. It's been really fun, man. So I appreciate you doing this.
It has been. Holy crap! That's 10 weeks.
Yep.
8 weeks is like 2 months. We're halfway through. We're almost. It's just like halfway through. We're almost to the end of a semester.
There you go.
Oh my goodness, man! Classes. I hope classes don't change.
Hey, you know what's hilarious? Do you remember the dean? You remember the dean from Back to School, the actor that played the dean? He also played Dan Connor's father on Roseanne.
He did, dude. You know the kid from Back to School. He was also the guy from Christine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, what a different character. That guy's actually a pretty good actor if you think about it.
Anyway,
he definitely did that too. Well, yeah, shout out to both of them.
Well, that, and I was going to say shout out to Mike from Slam Pigs podcast. My brother, my nephew, looks like that actor. So when he said Dean, I thought about my nephew real quick. I'm weird. I don't know why. That was a hell of a little. I don't know what I just did there. Wow. Anyway, that was for the 10th episode. There you have it. I dug deep for something. But in all seriousness, thank all you guys for all your requests, for listening, feedback, social media for 10 episodes in, and here's the 10, 20, 30 more. 10. I'm down.
Yeah.
Let's keep the train moving.
Let's just keep it going. I think next week we might have a guest.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
News to me.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm excited. You're bringing a guest to the table next week, Tannen.
Just for next week, and then they won't appear again until a month later.
Until you summon them again.
Oh yeah, I will. From the depths of what I'm going to do here, the dark world or something is what I'll call it. You know, and be careful when you go to the dark world, because you might be a rabbit without a sword or shield, even though you went there with a sword or shield. I don't know why you can't be a rabbit and use your sword and shield. That's stupid. I want to be a rabbit.
I always hated that part in Link to the Past when I was a kid. Like when you first go to the dark world and you can't do shit. I hated it.
Yeah, it's like, man, why can't I use a sword and shield? I'm a rabbit. This is awesome.
I mean, you looked cool. The sprite was cool, but it's, you know,
Yeah,
there's the guy
you
kicking
can't
his little
fight.
buddy, the little ball guy. He's, please stop kicking me or whatever. That was kind of classic, though. I did like that part about it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, and then his character looks like he's just dressed up for trick or treat. Like, he's not an animal. He's nothing cute.
I remember
What
on
the hell's your problem?
What did they do with those two in the end credits? I remember it was something funny.
He's still kicking him around.
Yeah.
He's still kicking him around. He's just bullying him. Like, this isn't a happy ending for that at all. He's still beating the shit out of him up on top of Death Mountain.
Are those two characters a metaphor for the reset button? I would say no. I don't even know why I was with it. Anyway.
Yeah, wow, deep thoughts with Travis Donahue.
Why you gotta bring my full name into it, son? No, I don't care. Fuck it. Next week.
Man, we say my full name all the time. What the fuck?
I don't think I've ever said your full name. I don't think.
No, really?
I can if you want. I mean.
Oh man, no. Here's a contest, and people who know me can't.
Your dog totally wants me to say your full name.
Yeah. People who don't know my full name, what the fuck is my last name?
Is that like dangling the carrot in front of their little face that next week you will reveal your last name? Is that the question of the week from Tanner?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna admit it'll be just as shocking as when you found out that Tom Hanks' character in Saving Private Ryan was an English teacher.
Spoiler alert, Tannen. Maybe not everyone's seen that movie. Now I gotta go dig deep for a graphic and a picture of Saving Private. Great, more editing. But yeah, once again, thank you, Tannen. Thank all you guys. Next week, maybe we'll have guests, maybe we won't. Hopefully we will. It's been the Reset Button, episode 10. It's been a blast. One more time, check us out on Twitter at @OTannensBum and at TheAbickyTMD. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, all that good shit. On Facebook, Tannen, we're everywhere. We're getting there. We're trying. Because of you guys. Once again, it's been episode 10. We'll see you next week. Let's hit the reset button, Tannen. Reset button. Hey guys, Travis here from HibickyTMD, reminding you as always to follow me on Twitter at TheHibickyTMD. Check out the Reset Button podcast with myself and Tannen, Hibiki Quickie, Hibiki History, retrospectives, everything in between, retro gaming, and pro wrestling, not to mention my other podcast with the man himself, Michael.
Hey, you dirty fucking pigs. This is Mike from the Slam Pigs Podcast, reminding you to check us out on Twitter at the Slam Pigs Podcast, or check me out on Twitter at Mike the Slam Pig. Or Travis, where can they find that other show?
They can find everything in between right here on Hibiki TMD. I don't really think they're dirty fucking pigs.